Peace and love, everybody. Salute, salute, good people. I just wanted to come by really quickly and do a quick discussion regarding the Ortiz versus Bohachuk fight that took place last night. Okay. First of all, shout out to Vergil Ortiz for his victory. He looked great to me. I know that his win is kind of stirring up a bit of, feelings of controversy, right? There seems to be a very, definite split between perspectives right now across social media. Some people feel that Bohachuk won, and I see people, also feeling that it was a clear win for Ortiz. Like I said, to me, Ortiz won that fight. I didn't really have any doubts about that, though it was highly competitive, and I could see where there would be calls for them to run it back, okay? And I definitely wouldn't be opposed to that. But, to be honest, I thought it was a clear victory for Ortiz. Now, there's some matters at hand that make the decision controversial, and it's definitely understandable. So I definitely want to put that out there as well. But I certainly had him winning the fight. He was, to me, definitely in control of the pace nearly for the entire bout. I didn't see too many moments where Vergil was out of control, aside from, of course, the controversial knockdowns, quote unquote, which I'll get into in a second. To me, Ortiz had the more significant punch output, okay? The man's body work was absolutely beautiful, you guys. Did y'all see how he was going to work on that man? Okay? The body work was beautiful from Ortiz in that fight. He chopped through that man's body like he was a tree. What? Bohachuk was trying his best to protect his body from those blows, but Vergil was just eating a full course meal at will. Okay, just eating through that man's body from top to bottom of that fight. I don't know what you guys were watching, but I was certainly watching a beautiful demonstration. Okay, he was just clobbering at that man's body beautifully. To me, I thought Vergil was effective with his jab whenever he used it. He did not use it enough, in my opinion. I would have definitely liked to have seen more use of that jab. But when he did put it to use, it was 100% effective, okay? It was put to very good use when he did use it because, it backed Bohachuk up at those moments, and it allowed Vergil to soften the target, soften that palate, and set the stage for all of the beautiful follow-up shots that he had, okay, to Bohachuk's body. Now, that doesn't, go to say, that Bohachuk didn't do a fabulous job. He looked very, very good in the fight as well. Okay, he didn't back down from Vergil, and he was certainly aggressive with his own output and effective at various moments from start to finish. Okay, he stood in the pocket and he banged it out. Okay, with him, and I liked his assertiveness. He was not going anywhere. Nonetheless, even though he was getting tagged the fuck up with those body shots, he didn't show too much pink outside of course, trying to flinch and crouch so that he could protect his body whenever he could, or how best he felt he could in those moments. I liked how he was game. He didn't, run. He wasn't, trying to find an escape route. He stood there and he banged it out with Vergil, which was highly impressive, and it made the fight even more competitive based off of his heart. Okay, Bohachuk is an absolute dog. There is no doubt about that. And that's what made me very interested in seeing what the outcome would be and how their energies would exchange with each other in that ring. I was thoroughly impressed with Bohachuk, you guys. This was certainly a test of will, okay? Those two men stood in that pocket and they banged it out. It seems like, from the onset of the fight, round one was barely over. And they already, were at each other, neck and neck. Very intense energy between those two men. It was wonderful, literally from round one on, okay? It was a fantastic war. Now, for the first round, quote unquote, knockdown, real talk, it did not look like a knockdown to me, you guys. I wish I could see a clip of it slowed down and close up so that I could see, what it is that I am gauging, because it's definitely hard to gauge without a close-up on it and a slowed down version of it. But to me, when I watched it back over and over again from the, original angle, it looked to me that the shot that Bohachuk threw may have grazed Vergil. But it seemed like Vergil was like dipping underneath or trying to evade that punch. And I'm not saying that the punch didn't touch him. It may have, but it seemed to be more of a graze or something like that. It did not look like a clean shot to me. Okay, it looked like while he was dodging, and trying to evade and go underneath that punch, he may have gotten grazed, but as a result of that, he got off of balance, off of, trying to evade it. That's what it looked like to me, you guys. Now, the second incident that took place in the 8th round, Vergil was certainly caught flush, okay, with that beautiful left hook from Bohachuk. I know Vergil protested, right, as he went down. He got back up like super fast, like trying to protest, shake his head, no. But the shot landed clean, okay? The left hook definitely landed in that 8th round, so it is what it is. Even if he was off balance, we cannot say that he wasn't hit the way it appeared to be in that first round. We can't really leave it up to, in the air type of thing. No, because it was absolutely flush in that 8th round. Okay. And you fell down as a result of it. So he got to eat that. He had to swallow that. Okay. But to me, beyond that clear shot in the 8th round from Bohachuk and the resulting subsequent, drop into the canvas, I think that he won the fight yet and still. He showcased the heavier work. He had Bohachuk hurt multiple times throughout that fight. Okay. His generalship dictated each round to me. He had the more assertive output and stance and position to me. It seemed to me that Bohachuk was responding to that with his own aggression, but he was still responding to Vergil's output, to Vergil's pace, nonetheless. Okay. Bohachuk was responding to Vergil more than Vergil seemed to have been responding to Bohachuk. That's what it looked like to me. Also, what's very interesting in this particular case, I've never really been interested, quite honestly, you guys, in Vergil Ortiz prior to last night. I've long been hearing his name, of course, throughout the boxing world, because it's no secret, how much of a monster he has been toted up to be all this time. I've heard his name, long associated with Bud. People have, incessantly, paired those two names together as a fight that people have wanted to see at some point. So I was definitely aware of him. But last night was certainly the first time that I really watched him at work. And I can definitely say that I was impressed for the most part. There are some things, of course, that I noticed, certain things that I don't like. I don't like how he isn't as defensive as he should be at this level. But we find that across particular spectrums within boxing, right? I guess that's his Mexican style, perhaps. He likes to bang, okay? He likes to, step on the gas and hash it out, and he will take his punishment in order to give his punishment, in other words, okay? But I think that against other elite warriors, as he continues to step up against competition at 154, that will certainly pose to be an issue for him, of course. Bohachuk's left hook caught him flush last night, and it dropped him. Okay. And it has me, of course, questioning, and has the whole boxing world, after watching that performance, question, what is he going to do against Bud goddamn Crawford? What is he going to do against Fundora? Fundora is a beast too. Okay. Charlo. Okay. Whenever he decides to come back to 54, or let's say a healthy EJ upon his return. What is he going to? Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia has a vicious, beautiful left hook. Okay. What are you going to do against those types of fighters? Okay. And I think those gentlemen will certainly pose to be a huge test for him. And he has to get ready and prepared for that, because as he continues to, fight and step up and build in 154, he can't just be going in there with a limited amount of protection for himself. He has to protect himself more. Now, as for the prospective fight against Bud, okay, I have no doubt that Bud will have that man on a plate. If I'm being 100% honest, at this juncture, I know who Bud Crawford is, and I have seen Vergil Ortiz and what he can do. Okay, last night I've seen, him have to step up and rise to the occasion. I got a good look at his fight style, And, based off of that, I have no doubts, of course, about Bud, making a meal of him. Let's just say that. I just think that Bud is way too calculated of a fighter. Okay, he's sneaky, as I always say, and no one pretty much is fucking with Bud on his boxing. Vergil will have to do much more than press forward. Okay, I was definitely highly impressed with his body work against Bohachuk. I thought it was beautiful. I think he broke Bohachuk down more and more as those rounds went on with that beautiful precision of the body work. That type of persistence on the body will break through any wall. Okay, no man is impervious to body shots. Okay, I think if he could apply similar pressure like that against Bud while boxing smart, who knows what could happen, right? This is boxing. However, Crawford is something special. So I can see him effectively weathering the storm against Ortiz. I don't think that, Bud hasn't seen the like of such a style in his day. And I think he'll be able to garner the necessary tools to get the job done effectively against Ortiz. I have no doubt about that at this moment. Interesting also was that Turki Al-Sheikh mentioned that he was interested in the Ortiz fight for Bud, but he also said that he wouldn't be opposed to seeing a rematch had between Ortiz and Bohachuk. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. I'm sure everybody who definitely felt that the fight should have gone to Bohachuk wouldn't mind seeing a rematch either. I personally don't mind it. Either way it goes. It was certainly a great war between two predators. It was a showing of skill, of heart, of dominance. It was a great fight. I was definitely entertained by it. Shout out to both men for a wildly entertaining matchup. And yeah, I can't wait to see what's next. Either way it goes, y'all. That's it for me. I'm on to the next. Peace.